It's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we're doing a Y buy on Kog'Maw, the Mouth of the Void. Is that what he is? Mouth of the Abyss. Wow, he's got quite a big mouth, that's for darn sure. But he is an 80 carry marksman who he's an interesting champ. I would say he is definitely a hyper carry. His damage output is absurdly high, probably one of the highest single target damage outputs in the entire game of League of Legends. I think that the best way to describe Kog'Maw is he's like Vayne, but with better range and less mobility. I think that's going to how I'm going to describe him. But his kit pretty much revolves entirely around his W, which gives him a massive range and damage boost on his auto attacks, which is pretty awesome. And he's got a little bit of utility on his other abilities, and then his ultimate, I think a lot of people know him for, gives him that massive ranged poke kind of siege potential. So, like I said, kind of like Vayne with better range. But anyways, let's get into his skills and abilities as I go through laning. This was a game I actually played with a bunch of friends. 4 friends on, we were on a Skype call. This is our Snow Wars team. We've got Han Snolo on support, Sona. We've got my friend Intensive Purpose playing Nautilus Jungle. I have another game with him. I think my Lee Sin guide where he played Tristana and got a Penta. That was a pretty cool game. And we've got my friend Dave playing Snowbaka, or playing Fizz in the mid lane, and then we've got some random dude playing Teemo in the top. It looks like actually Udyr invades red, which is kind of sad, and goes back in. Or is he going to get out of this? Fizz is trying to help. They're fighting this. He's getting really low. It looks like Udyr is going to get away, but here I come to try and help out. I flashed in, tried to get my... Oh, and just, I think 1 or 2 more auto attacks would have been enough. I tried to flash into range, but a bit of a wasted flash there. But anyways, let's get into Kog'Maw's skills and abilities and start talking about him. He is actually not a champion I've played very much. This was actually like my second game on him. But one of the things about 80 carries is that for the most part, they're pretty much... playing 80 carry, like the champion itself, doesn't really make a big difference. Like auto attacking, positioning, last hitting, all those things kind of are the same. So learning new 80 carries, if you've played a lot of 80 carry, isn't such a big deal. I would say the only difference there would be if you're going to someone like Ezreal or Corki, that's very reliant on hitting skill shots. But like the auto attack based ones like Caitlyn or Tristana or Corki, watch how low I'm getting Caitlyn. Wow, I'm getting her so low here with these W-empowered auto attacks. And watch this, I'm just going to walk up to her and whoop, see ya. I don't know what that Caitlyn was thinking, but she had both her summoner spells up. So I guess she was just being a little silly. But anyways, let's get into Kog'Maw's abilities. His passive, Icathian Surprise. Upon dying, Kog'Maw starts a chain reaction. And he will actually kind of be in an undead state where you can move around, and then after 4 seconds he will detonate, dealing a amount of true damage based on his level to whatever nearby enemies are there. So if you kill Kog'Maw, you have to be aware, if you get into a duel with someone and they're really low, and you're Kog'Maw, you can usually pick up a kill because you have this kind of posthumous explosion mechanic. I am a little bit mixed on this passive. Honestly, it's really not entirely useful. It looks like Sona's getting a little caught out here, unfortunately, and there's the Caitlyn Q. So unfortunately, she's going to go down. But I think this is kind of a poor passive on a 80 carry. It doesn't really help his damage out very much, and 80 carries, you should be trying to position yourself in such a way that you won't get caught out and have to, I guess, die. So it kind of is what it is, but still an interesting passive, and you can pick up some kills from this. Just not necessarily something that's going to help you like in combat or get more kills. But anyways, that's his passive. So next up would be his Q, Caustic Spittle. It has a passive active component. Passively, it grants Kog'Maw bonus attack speed up to 30% at max rank. And the active component is a short-range nuke that deals magic damage and reduces the target's armor and magic resist for 4 seconds. So this ability is generally, I think, on 80 Kog'Maw, the one you want to max last. If you're playing more of an AP Kog'Maw, which is possible, this becomes one of your more core nukes. It's relatively short range, though, so it isn't really the best part of his kit, to be honest. On 80 Kog'Maw, you're pretty much just going to want to use this for... I mean, the passive attack speed is nice, especially as you scale into late game. It's one of the things that makes him a hyper carry, because he gets so much free attack speed. So when you get, like, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dance, or Last Whisper, you're actually doing a ton of damage, because you have quite a bit of free attack speed. It's almost like a Bork level free attack speed. But then the armor and magic resist reduction is also, like, specifically the armor reduction really is quite nice. And it's definitely a part of his kit that isn't the strongest. I think I don't even take points in this ability until the very end, just because I don't really think it's that helpful. But I think that, you know, it is what it is. He's got other abilities that make him tick, so his caustic spit will kind of, you know, it gives you the attack speed passively, which is nice, but not really much else. I don't actually, I think maybe once or twice I use my Q in a late game situation when I have a lot of mana, and when I feel like I can, you know, kind of, I've got a big, bruised, beefy tank in front of me that I need to deal with. It looks like I should get exhausted, and I get knocked back by Alistair, but good exhaust there from Sona on Caitlyn, and we're going to get away safely. So nice play there by my support. So anyways, next up is Kog'Maw's W. This is really what makes his kit tick. This is like pretty much the reason to play Kog'Maw. And this is got to be one of the strongest abilities in the game for any AD carry. So your basic attacks gain extra range for 8 seconds, and then you deal extra magic damage that is a percentage of your opponent's maximum health. So this is one of the reasons why Kog'Maw is so powerful, is because he scales really well into late game. Because of his W, he gets like this is like having like a free Blade of the Rune King passive. I believe at max rank, it is like 6% of the target's maximum health for 8 seconds, and plus you're getting like maximum of 210 additional range. He has 500 basic range, so that's like 710 auto attack range. So it's like a slightly longer than Tristana. I want to say Tristana is like 703 or something crazy like that. So just slightly longer than Tristana's auto attack range. And this is pretty much an AD carry's dream. Having the bonus range and the bonus damage on hit is so nice. You become an absolute tank shredder. And it makes him very powerful. This is, like I said, pretty much the reason to play AD carry Kog'Maw is so you have your W. And the way to note if it's up is you see right there, while I'm shooting these projectiles kind of up in the air. Ooh, looks like Alistair wants to go for a flash, but I'm going to flash out of the headbutt. Yeah, we had a feeling that Udyr was around, and he showed right there. So it looks like they're actually going to go for a dive, so I'm going to try and wave clear as best as I can. I'm missing that cannon creep, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, his W is the main reason to play Kog'Maw. Alistair's taking a lot of damage. He activates his ultimate to get the damage reduction. Very, very nice crescendo, and going to try and get Alistair down as quick as I can. I cleanse the Udyr stun, but I'm going to go down anyways. Caitlyn was the last one to draw tower aggro, and she actually gets really low, unfortunately, so pretty well executed dive. We'll see if we can get a kill out of this, but they just are not powerful. Oh, it looks like blue card OP. Darn, it looks like Nautilus is going to go down. So a very well executed dive and follow up by Twisted Fate there by their team. They all ended up leaving very, very low, but they kind of got what they came for in 2 kills. So anyways, next up is Kog'Maw's E. It is Void Ooze. It is a lined projectile he will fire out in a line that will deal damage in an AoE, and then it will leave a trail which will slow enemies who pass through it for 4 seconds. So this is kind of Kog'Maw's self-peel. He doesn't really have any sort of mobility skill, so this is what makes Kog'Maw tick in terms of kind of self-peel. It gives that AoE there. I used it right there on the wave to try to push. It gives you that kind of AoE slow, so if you've got these divers that are coming after you, you can throw out your slow and try and peel for yourself, is kind of the idea here. If you're playing AP Kog'Maw, this becomes like one of his most powerful nukes. It has pretty high flat damage and a 70% AP ratio, so on an AP Kog'Maw build, this would be kind of your primary nuke along with your ultimate. So yeah, and overall, I use this for wave clear. I use it for the slow, the utility that it provides, and I like to max this kind of alongside my W. So I max my W and I max my E kind of simultaneously, leaving no points in Q. You could put 1 point in Q if you want, like at like level 4 or something like that, and then just like straight up max your W and your E second. That would work just fine. Just kind of my personal preference is to kind of play Kog'Maw this way. So, and then last up would be his ultimate, Living Artillery. This is a area skill shot, kind of like a Karthus Q, where Kog'Maw will shoot up in the air, and then after a brief delay, it will fall down, revealing and dealing magic damage to enemies hit. And then it actually has an extremely short cooldown, 2 seconds down to 1 second at max rank. Fortunately, Sona looks like she gets caught out here by a good Alistair combo. But So extremely low cooldown, but the thing is that it is capped by mana. Each subsequent cast within 6 seconds will cost additional 40 mana. So if you're spamming this, you're going to run very, very quickly. This does have both an AP and an AD ratio, so this is Kog'Maw's actually his only ability that scales with attack damage. And so this is very useful for poking. It has tremendous range at max rank. We're talking about 2200 range. I mean, that's like absurd range right there. It's just crazy how much range this ability has going for it. And it really is kind of nice for Kog'Maw. Like I said, Kog'Maw does have really good range. And this is one of the reasons why, is because he gets so much good poke. It makes him good at sieging towers, because he can easily poke enemies down from afar. And I also forgot to mention it does bonus damage to champions, so it is not as useful for wave clear, but it is very useful for poking champions. It does have a little bit of a delay, so it's not the easiest skill shot to hit. But still is very strong and a good part of his kit. Looks like Sona actually gets in a little bit of trouble, so she's going to go ahead and exhaust. Oh, a very nice crescendo. I get exhausted as well, but I'm going to continue to try hitting Caitlyn. Looks like she flashes in to try to pick up this kill, but it's not going to work. Very nice job by Sona to bait her into that. Now we're going to turn on Alistar. Let's see. There goes the slow. Looks like TF is going to come out. I'm going to try and body block the yellow card, but it didn't quite. Oh, he actually whiffed on the gold card. So going to try and just DPS him down as best as I can. There, my W comes off cooldown, so I'm going to use my W for the extra damage. I get ignited. They're cutting off his chase point, and they're getting the kill with my W-empowered auto attack. So very nice, bringing me up to 3-1 on the game, and off to a fairly good start. So anyways, those are Kog'Maw's abilities. He does kind of have an interesting kit. It's a little bit antiquated in terms of, like, I think Kog'Maw and Tristana are AD carries that still have, like, heavy AP ratios, and, like, Corki's in that category as well. They have very heavy AP ratios. So their abilities tend to be strong in, like, the early mid-game because they have high base damages, but then they really fall off late game because you're not building any ability power. But like I said, basically the main reason to play Kog'Maw is for his W. His W is very, very powerful. Getting that bonus range and getting that bonus damage is so nice. But I have found that Kog'Maw can be a little bit polarizing. Like when his W is up, he's a god, but when it's down, he's a little bit weak. He only has 500 auto attack range without his W, so he's very much balanced around having his W up. But when it's down, he really isn't the same champion. And also, like, his Q isn't really the best ability for an AD carry. Like, I mean, the passive attack speed is nice, but the nuke really isn't that helpful. The range isn't very good, and like I said, it doesn't scale with attack damage. Really, the only thing you would be using it for is the armor reduction, because his E is better for self-peel, and his W is better for auto-attacking. So there's no reason to prioritize his Q over his other abilities when you're playing AD carry, at least in my opinion. I'm going to try and chase this Caitlyn away. So, yeah, I guess I just don't really see kind of I wish that they would do something with its Q that would help him out a little bit more. Having a little bit more utility would be really nice. You know, because he does have tremendously high damage, which is kind of like the calling card for Kog'Maw. Like I said, you pretty much play him for his W, and it looks like a five-man dive bot. This is craziness right here. Not really sure if we're going to get out of this alive. I get gold carded there, but I'm going to try and join this fight from a distance. Oh, hitting those cards there was pretty much a mistake. I'm going to try and clear this wave as best as I can using my E and my ultimate to really try and clear these minions, because then Caitlyn cannot come in and dive. They're picking up those minions there. I'm going to try and help out my jungler here onto Garen. I think I can get away from him with... Okay, very nice job. Nautilus is going in. Oh, but he does actually go down due to the Q. Oh, it looks like... Fizz! Oh, not quite able. Does he have the shark? He does have the shark. It looks like he's going to land it. There, I'm going to pick up that Q with my E. And it looks like I actually get bumped in. And there's no way I'm going to get out of this. So, kind of a bad trade. We lost 2. Actually, we lost 3, and we only got 1. So... a poor trade, kind of a rough early mid-game. Kind of the story of this game so far has been Udyr. His counter-jungling on our Nautilus has been absolutely brutal. He stole his red. He's been back in the jungle pretty much ever since, just being a true terror in terms of invading our jungle. Well, it looks like a nice flash is going to get Sona out of this pickle, and she is going to live. Ooh, Nautilus wants to go super ham. He wants even more. Not sure if we have the damage to back him up. Let's go ahead and watch the end of this. I think they're going to get away. Okay, so anyways, back to Kog'Maw. So I think overall, I don't know if I'm going to give Kog'Maw a recommendation. So here's my take on Kog'Maw. His W is really strong, but other than that, his kit doesn't really do that well. His ultimate has too high of a mana cost, and you're not going to itemize for mana on an AD carry. His E is not effective enough peel to kind of really keep himself safe when you compare him to someone like Vayne or Tristana that has even more self-peel. A slow is really not going to do much for you when you've got so many champions who have gap closers. Like, if you're going against a Riven or something like that, or a Zed, a slow is not going to do jack squat to them because they've got a way to get to you regardless of what you do to them. So, and also when you combine that with the AP ratios, it makes Kog'Maw's kit a little bit clunky and outdated. I think he could use a little bit of an update to help him out. And also, I really think that the biggest problem with Kog'Maw isn't that his kit is bad, it's mostly just that solo queue is not a good environment for a character like Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is extremely powerful when he has really good peel, when he's got a team built around him to peel for him. So if you have like a Nunu jungle, Janna support, and like a more supportish styled top laner that can kind of peel for you and keep them off of you, that's really what Kog'Maw needs to thrive and survive, because he's one of the least mobile AD carries. He has no sort of repositioning ability, no speed up, his only self-peel is his E. And then with his W, he's got a lot of, attack damage and a lot of range and a lot of poke. So with Kog'Maw, you really need to be very, very careful about your positioning, more so than any other AD carry. If you even get 1 or 2 steps out of position such that one of their opponents can get on top of you, you're pretty much dead. There's nothing that you can do to get away unless your team peels for you, which is not really going to happen in solo queue. So Kog'Maw is... I'm going to go ahead and steal this kill. Kog'Maw is definitely he's weak because solo queue doesn't really work for a character like him. Now, trying to kite back as best as I can with this Udyr running at me in Bear stance and Phoenix stance, trying to kite an A-click. If you don't know how to kite on Kog'Maw, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But it looks like we're going to try and get one more kill. My W off cooldown. It is. I'm going to flash and pick up that kill. Very nice. So a couple of kills right there gets me up to 6-2. I'm really starting to get rolling. Now, another thing about Kog'Maw is that his laning is actually not bad. Compared to other hyper carries, Kog'Maw actually has a fair amount of laning. Because he gets good range on his W, it's hard to deny him creeps. Range is one of the best. Ooh, it looks like Fizz got kind of caught out of position there. But his W is one of the best abilities to have as an AD carry in lane because it gives you really good range. And range is a very strong ability to have for laning. And so that's kind of one of the trade-offs, that Kog'Maw has very good laning. He's actually really strong against someone like Caitlyn, whereas if you take someone like Vayne, she's going to really struggle against a lane bully like Caitlyn, whereas Kog'Maw can actually lane against Caitlyn fairly effectively. He's got the range on his W, he's got poke on his ultimate. He can poke her right back and stay safe from her auto-attack poke. So that's kind of where Kog'Maw lives. He's got okay early game. He's not as weak as some other champions early game. He has absurd damage and range with his W and his ultimate in mid to late game, but he's extremely immobile and he requires peel from your team like no other champion in the game, I would say. So anyways, kind of as this game has gone, I've really started to get going, and I actually picked up an early Infinity Edge, which is really... Infinity Edge Zeal was actually my buy at the last back, and now I'm really strong. If you watch, got a kill there on Udyr, and now I'm just shredding down this Alistar. I've got so much damage, just staying with him with my A-clicks and getting another kill. Now moving on to Garen, activating my W, and just look at how much damage Kog'Maw's putting out. Just the damage is crazy. Getting 3 kills right there, up to 10, 2, and 1. I've really reached a very strong mid-game power spike with this Infinity Edge Zeal combo. And if we can continue to kind of snowball this lead, I think we're going to be in a good position. Twisted Fate is pretty strong. Garen is pretty strong. But on the flip side, I'm much stronger than my counterpart. Now watch this clip right here. Sona actually gets in a little bit of trouble, and she gets a really nice heal. And it looks like TF wants to go back, but he underestimates my damage, and I pick him up with my W-empowered auto attacks and my slow and my E. And with red buff as well helping me slow him, there's just no way for him to get away. And that's another thing about Kog'Maw, is he's very reliant on red buff late game. He absolutely needs it to try and kite and stay safe and peel for himself. So yeah, overall, in a nutshell, those are Kog'Maw's abilities. Those are his his calling card, is that he's very high damage, very low mobility, good range, but very much requires peel like no other AD carry in the game. Like one thing I did mention a little bit with his abilities is an AP build is viable. It's very mana intensive, so you're going to want Tear and Rod of Ages probably, and then maybe Rylai's, and then your ultimate turns into a very scary nuke, because if you get the slow from the Rylai's and the almost unlimited mana pool with Tear and Rod of Ages, you're going to be in a really strong position to almost infinitely kite and deal damage from a very safe range. But the AP build, it doesn't really do that much for you. The damage output just isn't that high. It's really not that useful. So the AD Kog'Maw is definitely better. Now, I think my big thing about Kog'Maw, I guess if I could like try and sum it up before I kind of really, and watch how much damage I'm doing to Alistar. I mean, this is just crazy. There's the W empowered auto attack to pick up the kill on Alistar, just as he almost gets out of range. And now watch how much damage I'm doing to Garen. Just really chunking him down. Got 2 seconds till my W comes up. Am I gonna turn on my W? Where's the W? There's the W right there. And can I flash for it? There's the flash for the kill. So up to 13, 2, and 1, picking up a lot of kills. I feel like this happens a lot on Kog'Maw, where you start auto-attacking them and they don't really know what's going on, but because of that bonus damage from his W, he just does so much damage, especially to tanky targets. I've seen people run the numbers, and his damage compared to Vayne is equal, if not higher. You know, Vayne is very much reliant on proccing her Silver Bolt, and she's also very reliant on attack speed. But with Kog'Maw in a standard AD carry build, you know, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and with his W up, his damage is absurd. Now watch this. Look at how much I am just chunking Caitlyn. I mean, 1 E and about 4 auto attacks, and she is dead as a doornail. To 14, 2, and 1. So at a very, very powerful mid-game power spike. And just look at my items compared to Caitlyn. I am in a much stronger position with my crits, with the free auto attack speed I'm getting from my Q, as well as the bonus damage from my W. Getting a lot of gold here as well, just getting super fed. So yeah, I guess my overall thought on Kog'Maw is, I don't know why I would pick or play Kog'Maw over some of the other AD carries, like Tristana. She can scale just as hard as Kog'Maw, maybe not quite as hard, but she scales really hard into late game. She's got more consistent range. Her range steroid is always up. She's got better self-peel with her ultimate and her W. She just has a better kit for solo queue. Also look at someone like Vayne. Even though Vayne has very weak laning, you know, her dueling is really high. Dueling is very, very valuable on an AD carry, because then they don't really need to be babysat as much. And they can pick up kills on their own when opponents get out of position. Kog'Maw can't really duel very well, just because he doesn't have any way to keep opponents off of him. Whereas Vayne has her Q on a 2-second cooldown, and she has her E to knock people away. You know, Kog'Maw doesn't have any of that except for his E. Now gonna chunk down Garen, pick up that kill right there. Now going on to Alistar, and using my ultimate. There's a kill right there. I think the red buff got the kill, and gonna flash. Good kill there by Sona. I think my ultimate would have picked that up as well, but just to secure it is not a problem. Up to 16, 2, and 2. Very, very powerful at this point. Got my Last Whisper. This is definitely a power play move for me right now. We need to take the advantage that I have and try and snowball it into a win, because really none of our other lanes are winning. Watch this. Udyr comes out, and it's just like, what are you doing, Udyr? Like, I'm going to straight up murder you. He's got a lot of armor, but I'm really not afraid of him at this point, because I had so much damage from my W. My W also does mixed damage, which is nice. It makes it hard to itemize against Kog'Maw, because I do a lot of mixed damage. And this is really the mid-game power spike. I need to kind of assert myself in the carry position and take this game over. So, yeah, that's kind of Kog'Maw in a nutshell. He has, you know, there are reasons to play him, you know, especially if you're playing with friends or in like a team ranked 5s environment and you've got a lot of peel and good communication. I think the Kog'Maw can really work. So one of the reasons why I picked him is because I was on voice comm with the rest of my team. But, you know, in a solo queue environment, it's hard to play Kog'Maw. Champions are really not going to peel for you. They're much more concerned about diving rather than peeling. So you just kind of need to take that into account. we get into a little bit of a fight here. They're going to blow up that Caitlyn. I see that they got that kill, so I'm going to go after Twisted Fate. Oh, I flashed to get the slow off, but then all of a sudden I see three members of the enemy team. Now I'm just going to try and kite backwards. Let's see if maybe Fizz can... Oh, Fizz almost can get that kill on TF. I'm a little bit out of position here. Udyr's on top of me, but good thing we've got a couple of teammates here to help peel. Now using my W-empowered auto attacks on Alistair. Oh, he flashed that. That was a very nice flash to get away from that Q, that Nautilus pull. And it looks like they're going to get out 3 of them with almost no health right there. That was very sad. That was so good. Good little team fight section right there. And my team is definitely losing. I decided to go back and protect this inhibitor. We maybe could have done Baron, but I made the call to go back and to try and defend this inhibitor just because I didn't want us to be turtled in our base for any longer. And if there was an extended fight at Baron, they probably would have got an inhibitor and maybe even pushed towards the Nexus turrets, and I just didn't want that to happen, so I decided to go back. I mean, at this point, I really have... I mean, if let's take a look at the gold situation. I have 14,000 gold. The next closest on my team is about 8,200. Nautilus has done a really good job of recovering and getting back in this game, but I just have so much of my team's gold compared to the next closest is Twisted Fate at 1,200, compared to my almost 1,500 now. So I just have so much gold, and I really need to be the one to carry this game because I am so fed. And with Kog'Maw, he is a hyper carry, so I need to get myself into a position to hyper carry this game. And unfortunately, I remember this. I actually got caught out. And I'm just going to end up going down here. So a big mistake on my part. If we watch this one more time. So right here, we actually made a call for Fizz to go on to Caitlyn. And I was moving to get in position. My camera was here. And then all of a sudden, I have people on top of me. It was exactly like that, where I wasn't even watching. I'm guessing... Let's see. Let's watch. I want to watch it from everyone's perspective. Yeah, it looks like they were baiting for this. So I don't know if Caitlyn was doing this intentionally, but they were clearly baiting. And it worked perfectly. Even though for some reason TF goes for Sona... TF really wasn't that good. Yeah, and I just ended up going down. So a big mistake on my part, and those are the kind of mistakes where when you're this fed, you just simply cannot make those kind of mistakes. Like there's just no room for those kind of errors. So a big error on my part, and it's really going to cost my team probably an inhibitor, which is too bad. So unfortunately, some bad plays on my part, and that's really not going to help my team out. And I think they are going to probably get this inhibitor. Ooh, Garen with that Infinity Edge is getting a ton of spinning crits. So yeah, oh shoot. A lot of deaths and a lot of carnage. If I was here to help clean this up, I don't really think we would have had much of a problem. But unless I was not, and we're going to lose a pretty big chunk of stuff because of my death. So my fault, definitely a mistake on my end. And it's going to cost us. Are they going to take this tower? No, not quite. So Fizz shows up. Is he going to help out? I don't have Home Guard boots. I decided to go for the... are we going to get this kill? Yes, we are. So a lot of damage right there coming out to pick off Alistair. I decided to go for the Fury enchantment to try and get myself some kiting potential, because I knew that with Garen and with Udyr, both of them are very fast. Both of them can get on top of me and kill me. So I need to be able to peel for myself. So I'm going for Blade of the Rune King. I'm going for the Fury enchantment to try and help myself out. So we decided to go for Baron here with them all backing. I think this was actually a pretty good call. I've got a lot of damage. And we are able to pick this up. But check this out. I actually get caught out of position right here. I cleanse the stun from Udyr. And now we're turning to try to go on... Oh, it looks like we're going to try and rotate here to help out Nautilus. And oh, Alistair lands a really nice combo, and I am again out of position. Don't have flash, don't have any way to get out of this, and I'm just going to die. So, let's watch this one more time, because this was actually pretty poor positioning on my part. So let's go ahead and slow this down and turn this on. So right here, you can see Garen and Udyr just come out of the Fog of War, and I am right in the middle of this. This is not where I want to be. Taking a lot of damage. I have to use my cleanse on the Udyr stun so that I'm not taking so much just free in Garen spinning damage. So it looks like we get the kill on TF, so good job by Nautilus. But at this point, I need to be so careful about my positioning. We don't have vision, and all of a sudden here comes Alistair, and here comes Garen. I am just in such a bad place. It would have been better for me to flank around by Sona, and try and support from the rear, use my range to my advantage, but I just get caught out of position. So very poor positioning on my part is going to get me killed again. And so my advantage is going to waste, because if you'll notice, I simply have not been auto-attacking during these last fights because I've been running away too much. I've been getting caught out too much. And an AD carry who's not auto-attacking is worthless. You need to be creating space for yourself to auto-attack and to get your damage off. Oh, it looks like Garen dies for that, so kind of a funny... Don't know if that trade was actually worth it or not. But we lost 2 inhibs off of that. We did get Baron, but we lost 2 inhibs. I picked up a Guardian Angel, and I'm going to try and rectify my previous mistakes. 18, 4, and 3, still a good score, but haven't been doing as well as I could at this stage of the game. So yeah, again, at this point, we really need to just be peeling, because I have so much gold. I would really prefer if Teemo and Sona kind of stayed with me. Fizz and Nautilus are probably going to be diving to the back, but we got a really nice pick right here. We knew he was going to come back around and try and ward, and with the Nautilus crowd control, we were able to pick up that kill. So very nice call there from Nautilus to go for that, to get the pick onto Alistar. Alistar has been having himself a pretty solid game, I would say. He's been really targeting his CC on me, which makes him very hard to deal with. And I just have so many people running at me that it's hard to kite effectively. You know, if it was just one diver, I think I could manage that pretty well. If it was just Garen, or if it was just... ooh, a nice knock up there from Nautilus. Going to try and use my range to stay in the back, working on Garen, just chunking him down really low. Now moving on Caitlyn, she's going to force her to flash away. Very nice pull, using my ultimate. Now just attacking the nearest target in range, trying to kite away from Udyr. I can use my cleanse and my flash, because I think I'm trying to get away and just keep this space between my opponents and myself so I have room to auto-attack. And because I'm so strong, this is really where I need to carry. It looks like Teemo's going to go in and pop Caitlyn's Guardian Angel before her ultimate can go off. Udyr's going to flash in after that kill. Just looking to try and help him out. The Teemo Mushroom right there was exactly what we needed, as well as my Void Ooze is going to help slow him enough so that we can get the kill. Udyr is vulnerable to being slowed and kited, so that's really what I would need to be doing, and just trying to keep myself safe. And really at this stage in the game with Kog'Maw, I have so much damage, and with my range on my W and my ultimate, I really need to be taking full advantage of that and trying to. Even if it's Udyr or Garen, I need to be killing the tanks. The tanks need to be my primary focus. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So at this stage in the game, I am massive. I am full 6-item build right now. I've got Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Blade of the Ruin King, and it looks like we got a really nice pick onto Alistar. Very nice job by Nautilus to get the hook. Let's watch this one more time. It looks like, yeah, he just comes in to try and get a ward, and a beautifully timed hook at max range from Nautilus. Void Ooze, W, auto attacks is going to pick up that kill. Very nice job by Nautilus to help secure that kill up to 21, 4, and 4. Having a good game, and I'm full 6-item build Kog'Maw, which is very, very scary. In terms of itemization, a very standard AD carry build will work on Kog'Maw. Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper needs to be core. It looks like here we're going in on another team fight. Nautilus has so much crowd control. A very nice crescendo from Sona, using my ultimate and my auto attacks on Twisted Fate. Now Udyr is on top of me, and I need to get away and try and kite him backwards. So maybe got a little bit too ham there onto TF, and it looks like Garen wants to dive as well. So this is the point where I need peel. I need some way to try and peel these guys off of me, trying to kite them backwards desperately, trying to move back into my team so that they can crowd control them. And it looks like we are going to pick up that kill onto Udyr, and if my Guardian Angel does get popped, I'm going to revive soon and hopefully clean up this Garen. It looks like he does go down to, and maybe I can move onto Caitlyn. Trying to land my ultimate, not going to land right there. This one will surely land, but oh, a very nice 90 caliber net is going to get her away safely. So, unfortunately, not able to finish things off right there. Going to try and stay safe and pressure this turret, but a crit right there from Caitlyn is going to scare me away. So I'm not going to stay at this point. So anyways, back to itemization on Kog'Maw. Standard AD carry build I think works best. Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper should be our priority. Blade of the Ruin King is not a bad option. The self peel is really nice from the active, and the percent damage synergizes nicely with his W, as well as the attack speed. Because his W is an on-hit effect with the percentage health damage, he synergizes really well from attack speed. So I know on some builds I will go, like my 4 items would be Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and then either one, the Lifesteal item, I either go Blade of Rune King or Bloodthirster. On Kog'Maw, I really like Blade of the Rune King because he really works better with attack speed than attack damage. Now, another team fight is ensuing, and I'm in a pretty solid spot right here, trying to stay in the back and just kite as best as I can. Garen is diving onto me, and it looks like Udyr wants to come as well, but I think I've got enough damage just trying to right-click, A-click, right-click, A-click, and once they get on top of me, there's not a ton I can do. The Udyr stun and the silence from Garen is going to prevent me from doing it, but I do pick up 2 kills with the help of Teemo for the price of 1, but without Sona, it's making things difficult. I believe... Yeah, she is disconnected, and that's really, like, in that little situation right there, a Sona with me to provide a crescendo to peel those guys off me would have been all the difference in the world. Could have stayed alive, and I have more damage than Caitlyn, that's for sure. Caitlyn does not scale into late game as hard as I do. 21, 5, and 9, 309 CS. I'm very far ahead in terms of gold of anybody else in the game. But I just can't seem to peel for myself enough to keep myself alive long enough to get the kills I need. And I think that this game really highlights Kog'Maw in a nutshell. This situation where I've got so much damage, and if I'm ever able to stand and auto attack, I just shred people. You know, Kog'Maw is like the ultimate turret. You know, he's immobile, but he has so much damage. And so at this stage, I need to be extremely careful. Try and get a pick here onto Alistar, and it looks like between Teemo and myself we have enough damage to pick that off. Here comes Nautilus, going to try to move on to Garen. I am pretty much going to be auto-attacking Garen and Udyr for the rest of the game. A very, very nice flash hook there. I believe I saw a flash hook, and we are going to pick up that kill with my ultimate onto... Unfortunately, that fish did not land, but are we going to get the kill onto... Yes, it looks like we are going to get the kill onto Twisted Fate, so a really nice push right there from my team. Now moving on to this turret. We really need to maximize this. As Sona's gone, we need to maximize this time that we have where we're still strong and they don't quite have enough to deal with us in team fights. And now I make a bit of a mistake here. I go on to Caitlyn, I pop her Guardian Angel, I remember this, and then it looks like they want to help me peel against Udyr, but instead of following up on this, I actually back off, and I should have followed in and gone on. I definitely could have gotten the kill on Caitlyn, or maybe even cleaned up also on Udyr, but I chose not to. I've got the lifesteal. That was a mistake. I should have tried to go, and I even have the Blade of the Rune King, so I probably could have just killed Caitlyn as she was trying to kill Nautilus, and then moved right onto Udyr and used my Blade of the Rune King active to try and peel him off of me. So a mistake, definitely a mistake right there from me to not go for those kills, and we didn't really capitalize on our advantage as much as we could have. So anyways, like I said, this game is really perfectly typifying what it's like to play Kog'Maw. Tremendous damage, but very, very weak mobility, and we do pick up the kill on Caitlyn as she gets caught out. Now, Udyr not quite able to pick up that kill. Teemo goes down, and I'm going to try and finish off... Yep, I do finish off Twisted Fate, but a flash, and my GA gets popped, so just a bad stretch right here of decisions. And without Sona, it's really, you know, even the slightest mistake gets punished very, very heavily on Kog'Maw. He's a very, very... difficult AD carry to play. There's very, very little room for error, especially without a support to help peel for you. But you know, choosing to back off instead of going Caitlyn earlier, and then right there, you know, finishing the kill on Twisted Fate ended up getting me killed, and I'm not necessarily sure if that's always worth it. You know, I've got so much gold, I don't need kills. What I need to do is not die and keep my damage output going. But we make a call here to go towards Baron and clear out some wards. I've got unlimited gold, and so using my W to just pick away at Garen. It looks like TF is ulting, but Nautilus is going in. Going to try and kite these guys, and this was really like the moment in the game where Kog'Maw, I think, just gets sewn up in a nutshell, trying desperately to kite, don't have flash, don't have cleanse, don't have any form of peel in terms of hard crowd control. Fizz is going to dive the backline, which is fine. But I just end up dying here, and I cannot get away from 2. I could maybe get away from 1, but I cannot get away from 2. I think, if I'm not mistaken, because my Guardian Angel got popped, I believe that I sold it for the Frozen Mallet, but it wasn't enough self-peel. You know, you can only slow 1 target and not 2. But, you know, even if those 2 are diving me, that does leave my team with a lot of space to act, and they are doing a good job. We still have 3 alive, and they only have 1 alive. So I think we're coming out ahead in these team fights. But unfortunately, we are losing our base, so that's kind of the price you pay to go to contest Baron without an inhibitor. Any inhibitor up, your base just gets wrecked. And so we're in a tough spot right now. I'm 25, 7, and 10. I've got so much damage, but I just cannot seem to get it off. And I think this is really probably a typical experience in playing Kog'Maw, that you've got the potential to wreck people, and if you have the opportunity to get your damage off, you can do so well. His damage output is second to none. But just the lack of peel is really what highlights Kog'Maw. You just have so little tools. All you can do is kite, and that's just not enough. So, anyways, yeah, I think I talked a little bit about itemization. I talked about prioritizing attack speed over flat attack damage. He's got long range, he's got high damage, he's got high poke, but very, very limited mobility, and it tends to be kind of crushing for him. But all that said, I do think that Kog'Maw is viable. He's definitely strong in certain situations. The thing is that Kog'Maw is not strong at every game, like someone like Caitlyn or Ezreal would be, but Kog'Maw is very strong. If you've got a coordinated team, if you've got a good, peeling team comp, a couple of bodyguards to help you out, you can do really well, but without that, you're going to struggle. But anyways, that's my Kog'Maw why buy. A tough loss, especially with the disconnect from Sona. A couple of well-timed crescendos would have been all the difference. And even with his Mikkel's Crucible to get that CC off of me would have made all the difference in the world, but we just didn't have enough peel to let me do my job and get the kills that our team needed. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on Kog'Maw. If you're new here, feel free to rate or subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.